Yeah, so fine. So fine. So we are learning about the looping thing, right? So I want to tell you. So now let's try to see about some of the things which I want to explain you. So here we have discussed about this simple looping thing in the previous session. That is nothing but I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. Now we are doing just console.log of I. So this is the thing which we have discussed. Now if I try to run it, we are able to see the output something like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to here. Okay. Now I want to have a situation that, so I don't want to print this if this I is less than or equal to 5. So now when this has bit, when this I is 3 means, so it has to stop the loop and it has to come out of the loop and it need to execute that. So stopped loop in the middle, something like this. So I need to stop the loop in the middle. So normally what I can do is, so after I need to print only up to 3 only. So if I is equal to 3 means I need to stop the loop, or otherwise if I doesn't belongs to 3 means then continue up to this 5 loop I want to show. So normally one procedure what we can do is, so I can do I less than or equal to 3 and I can do up to 0, 1, 2, 3. So normally so commonly if it is having I less than or equal to 5, and I can write a condition in such a way that if I is equal to 3, so if for example if I has matched the 3, then I need to come out of this loop. So how can I come out of this loop is we have a keyword that we have already seen in the switch statement, that is nothing but a break keyword. So this break keyword, when you try to add it in this break for loop, so what it will try to do is, so whatever the for loop it is executing, in the middle of the for loop it will break that for loop and it will come to the bottom. Now we are having, without using the for loop, let's say that, so I am having 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I am able to see this console.log. So that means successfully the loop is completing everything. So up to the condition met, it is looping. But I want to stop in the middle in such a way that if I is matching with the 3 means I need to stop in such a way that, so stopping loop, and I want to loop it, so I want to stop it. So we can use a break keyword here. So now let's try to say, if I run it, so now up to 0, 1, 2 has been printed. So when I has become 3, so it went to the console.log stopping loop. So now it has break means, so now the for loop has been entirely broken, so not broken, so it has come out of this for loop and it is printing this console.log. So now the break keyword, when we will try to use is just like the switch statement, how we are using, how we are breaking that case thing. So when we want to stop that execution up to there, so we can use this break command, so break keyword. So in the same scenario in the for loop also, if you want to stop the for loop in the middle of this means, you can use this break thing. So this is one of the break keyword which I want to explain you. Now another thing what I want to tell you is, another one is the continue. So we have another keyword that is nothing but a continue. So what is this use of this continue? So you need to also understand that break means it will break only the outer loop only. For example, let's say that I have where I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus I am having. So we are having such a way that inner loop where j is equal to 0, j less than 10 and j plus plus, let's assume. Now I will console.log, so it will print the j value and here it will print the console.log outer loop. Okay, Now I am writing condition here that if j is equal to 3, so if any j matches means I want to break this one. So now here if you need to understand that now when you added this break thing, it will break this inner loop only. It will not break this entire looping. So wherever you are using this break thing, so whatever the looping you are having, not conditional statements, whatever the looping statements you are having, so it will break this loop. So for example, let's say that now we are executing this code, right? Now it will print all the time 0 1 2 0 1 2 0 1 2 up to 5 times. It will try to print it, and it will try to print the outer loop also 5 times. Let's try to see it. If I try to see here, so we are able to see 0 1 2 and outer loop has been printed. Why? Because so j is equal to 3, it has broken, it has come out of this for loop when j has been matched. So now it will not, this inner loop will not loop over up to the 10 values. It will loop over up to the 3 values only, and after the 3, when it is j is equal to 3, we are saying that it needs to break this for loop. So it needs to come out of this for loop, and this outer loop is printing, and again it will go and it will increment this I++. Now again it will go to the j value, and here you will be able to see that again when j matches 0 1 2, again j matches 3, again it will break this inner loop. So like this it will go on up to the 5 values. It will try to print it like this. If you want to loop, if you want to break this outer loop also, so now you need to use this break here. Now if you use this break, now what it will try to print? Only one time only you will be able to see the output. See 0 1 2, first time it has been printed, it has break out of this outer loop as inner loop. It went to the outer loop, and it has seen that instead of going into the I++, incrementing again, it has seen this break thing. So that means I need to stop this for loop. I need to break this for loop. So it has come out of this for loop. So this is the break thing. So wherever you need to use this, the break means, so only that loop whichever you have used this break, it will break that loop only. When you are using this nested for loop and all those things, it will not break all the for loops. You need to use this particular break for a particular loop only. So this is about the break. And now another thing what I will try to do is, so for example, let's say that for where I is equal to 0, so I less than 10, I am trying to print I++. So now here what I want to do, I need to print only even numbers. Let's assume, okay, let's assume now even numbers means we will do like this only. For example, let's say that I will be printing something like console.log I. Let's see the output. So I will show you the scenario. We are able to see 1 to 9. Now what I was doing is, for example, if I greater than 5 means, so I need to break it. So now I will use such a way that if I is greater than 5, I will break it. Now what it will try to print? Up to 0 to 4 only it will print, and it will come 0 to 5, greater than 5, right? Okay. So up to 0 to 5 only it will print, and it will come out of this loop. So fine. But what I want to do is, so out of this one, so if I is equal to 5, okay, so whatever the logic present inside this loop, I don't want to execute. So if I is greater than 5, if I is greater than 5, okay, if I is greater than 5 and I is less than 7, something like this, in between this one, 5 6 7, I don't want to execute the logic that is present inside the for loop. Instead of this one, so increment the values. Instead of breaking out of this loop, increment the values I want to say, but I don't want to execute the logic. So in that scenario, what I can do is I can use the continue. So if we try to use this continue, now you will be able to see that. So here we have seen that 5 and 7 has printed. In between this one, 6 has been missed out. So why? Because if you want to use the equal to means, now you will be able to see that 1 2 3 4 has been printed. So now when it comes to the 5, so when it 0 1 2 3 4, it has been printed. When it comes to the 5, it will check that I greater than or equal to 5 or not. Yes, it is equal to 5. So now it has the condition as, and I is less than or equal to 7 or not. 5 is less than or equal to 7. Yes, the condition has been satisfied. So both the conditions satisfied, it will go to the inner loop and it will try to see that continue statement. So continue statement means what it will try to do is, instead of coming down and executing this all the logic, it will go again and it will increment it. Now it has I has become 6, and it will see that the condition is matching or not. It is matching. Again continue means again it will go to the upper, again it will try to increment it instead of executing the below logic. And again it will check that 7, so it is matching, both matching. Again it will continue. When it is I is 8, now it will try to see that it is not matching, so I greater than or equal to 5, less than or equal to 7, it is not matching. Now what it will try to do is it will not go into this condition, so it will try to print this console.log I. Now we are able to see this 8. So now we understood about these two things, that is nothing but break and continue. So break means nothing but what you will try to do is, in order to stop the loop in the middle and come out of it. So we'll use this and comes out of it. So we will use this break thing. So it will work only for the particular loop only. So same thing continue also. So it will not continue if there is in the nested loop means, so it will not go to the outer loop. It will go to the inner loop only where it has been declared. And now continue means, so when continue encountered means it will immediately go to the for loop and increment it instead of executing the below logic. So instead of executing this below logic, instead of continuing downwards, so if any continue has occurred means, so it will think that I need to go and again I need to increment it. So these are the two things about this break and continue. So more oftenly we will be using in the looping only, this break and continue, when we need to break it and when we need to continue it. So this is about this break and continue statements. Now the next one what we will try to learn is about the while loop. So while loop is also similarly like for loop only, but for loop is more advanced thing, not advanced thing. So more sophisticated, will be having initialization, everything will be there in the for loop. So whereas the while loop you will not have like that. So let's say that I need to print same thing. I need to print the same thing, something like 1 to 10. So in for loop how you will write? So where y is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. So we'll do the console.log of I. So this is a common thing which we'll try to implement it. So fine, we are able to see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Now this is a for loop which we have written. So in the same scenario, in the same things, the same logic, if you want to implement in the while means, so while is also the thing looping thing only. But here what you need to do is you will have a while statement. So break keyword, while keyword, and here you need to write the condition. So in this condition, now in this while loop, so you will write the logic here. So this is the syntax for this while loop. Now here in this for loop, the condition is nothing but I less than 10. So I can take this I less than 10. Now if there is no for loop here means, let's say that now we have added the condition, but we don't have the declaration of this I variable. So at the top you need to mention this I variable, I is equal to 0, and in this one you need to console.log I need to do it. Now if I try to run this one, so it will run it infinitely. Why? Because I is equal to 0 and I0 is less than 10. So it will print the 0, and afterwards it comes to the while loop again, it will be again 0 only. Again it will try to print it. So it will be indefinite loop. So there is no chance, there is no place written that the I should be incremented please plus 1. So where we need to write that logic is inside this for loop only. So I will be writing I plus plus, or otherwise I is equal to I plus 1, whichever you want you can write it. So now you have written a condition like this. Now if I try to run it, the same code using this while loop we are able to achieve it. So this is the while statement. So here whatever the thing we have used in the for loop, we have used something like where I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus we have used it. But whereas in this while loop, so the initialization has came to the top and the condition will be in the while. Okay. And the another one, what is this one is the incrementation should be in the inside this while loop. So this is the syntax change how it will be. So both the things does the same thing only. So whichever is convenient for us, we will use depending on the requirement. So this is about this while loop. Now next comes the another one is do while loop. So we have learned about the for loop, while loop and do while loop. So do while loop, what is the use of this do while loop? Let's try to implement. So let's try to tell it. Now we have for example, let's say that where I is equal to 10. Okay. Now I want to write in such a way that while I is less than 9, okay, console.log just I. So I am printing like this. Now if I try to execute this one, so what is the thing I have written here? I is equal to 10. So I am checking that 10 is less than or 9 or not. So it is not less than 9. So if I try to run it, so nothing is executed. Why? Because this condition has not been satisfied. So this condition has not been satisfied. Because of that reason, console.log of I is not executed. But now I want to check in such a scenario that at least one time it needs to execute the while condition, and afterwards it needs to check the condition again. So whatever the code we are that is presented in this while loop, so we need to execute at least once. If you want to execute at least one time, then afterwards if the condition doesn't satisfy me, so you need to come out of this while loop. So if you want your code to execute at least once, if the condition is also not satisfied, means we can use this do while. So what is the syntax of this one? Is the same thing, do. So we'll use the keyword again, do, and here we are selling that, so print the console.log I, and here we will be checking while condition, and we need to keep the semicolon here for this one. Normally for the while condition we will not keep the semicolon, but here for this while we need to keep the semicolon. The same condition I will write it here. Okay. So now the thing what I have written is, so I will try to comment out this one. So the thing what I have written here is the while condition here. So while I less than 9 means it needs to execute. Now I is equal to 10. So the I has been initialized to 10. It will check that 10 less than 9. So the condition is not satisfying. So that is the reason while is not executing. So that means the while loop, first it will check for the condition. Then only if the condition is satisfied, then it will execute the content, that is the logic present inside this for while loop. Whereas this do while, so this do while means first it will do the logic and afterwards it will check for the condition. So this is the do while thing. So that means you can estimate that do while executes at least one time. Okay, so if the condition doesn't satisfy, also at least one time. So here we cannot guarantee that the while loop executes. So it will execute if the condition is satisfied only, or otherwise it will not satisfied. But here if the condition is not satisfied means it will execute at least one time. So that is the thing. So now if I try to print the output, so I'm able to see the 10. Why? Because so I is equal to 10, it has went into the do, and it has executed this console.log I 10. After executing, it is checking that while it is 10 less than or equal to 9 or not, it is trying to check. So now it is not satisfying the condition, so then it will come out of this loop. So for example, if it is there something like I is equal to 8, or otherwise I is equal to 7. So now I am doing I plus plus. So if I try to do this one, so what it will happen, let's try to see. So now we are able to see the 7, 8 only. Now if you try to see the same thing, it will try to print the same output. So nothing will be there. Oh, sorry. I have gone. My J has been gone. So you need to be very careful with the while loop this one only. So you need to make sure that we are incrementing the output or not. So what is the thing? There is what is the thing I have did? So here I am looping over the while loop. Here I am looping over the while loop, and here I am consoling that I, and I am not incrementing that I. So it is going on executing this while loop. So what I need to do here, I need to do the I plus plus, but now here this one will not execute. So let's try to see it. So previously we have seen this one as 7, 8, right? Now if you try to see the output, so we are able to see this 7, 8, 9. So now the 9 is why it has been printed is because of this do while loop. So now while has printed this 7 and 8 for this one. Now the I value is 8. Now it has went here. So it has printed only for the first time. Okay. So 9 it has printed. Now I became 10. So afterwards it is checking the condition that it is less than or 9 or not. So it is not satisfying the condition. So then it has executed. Then it has come out of this loop. So this is the difference between this while and the do while. So do while will execute at least one time. whereas the while loop will execute only if the condition is satisfied only. So that is the difference between this while and the do while. So these are all about the looping things. Other looping things also there, but these are the basic things which you can achieve everything in the programming language. So we have learned about the for loop, while loop, and also the do while loop. So these are the three things which we have learned. So these are the most important things for the looping thing. And also we have learned about this break and continue also, why we need to use this break thing. So for example, let's say that while we can use it in this one also, while I is equal to 10, so I is equal to 1, let's say that. So while I less than 10, I will try to print it console.log of I will do the I++. So initialization, condition and incrementation, everything should be present while we are looping. We need to check it. We need to cross check it. So now I am able to see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 the output has been printed. Now what I want to do is, so here I can check the condition that if I is equal to 5, so then I need to break it. So I can use this one break in the while loop also. So if I try to do it, so here I'm able to see only the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after the 5 has been incremented, so after the when the 5 is 5, so it has satisfied this if condition, so it has breaked out of this while loop. We can also use this one in the do while loop also. So that means in every looping structures, looping thing, we can use the break, okay, continue, that's it. So in every looping, something like for while, these all things we can use this one. Now let's go to this another thing, that is nothing but operators, arithmetic operators in JavaScript. So how this JavaScript, so these are all the core things present in the JavaScript language. So in every language it will be present, but in the JavaScript also it will be present. So I want to explain you. So let's say that first we will see the addition operation. So how the addition operation will be there in the JavaScript. We have something like where a is equal to 5, where b is equal to 10. So now I want to do the console.log a plus b. So the output is nothing but as you expected, it will be a 15 only. So the output we can able to see it. Now let's say that we have where result is equal to a plus b. Now what I will try to do, so I will try to print the result. Here result. So if I try to do the output, so we are able to see this 15. So now let's try to see that we have already seen about this one, a plus is equal to b. So that means nothing but a is equal to a plus b. So this is the situation, this is the scenario, and we have another thing also, a plus plus. So that means it will increment something like a is equal to a plus 1. So these are the different types of notation. So how we will try to implement it. Now if I try to do something like, so here I can write something like a plus is equal to b, and if I try to print the a value, now you will be able to see the output is nothing but 15. Why? Because a has incremented to 15. Now if I try to do this a plus plus, so we know that a will be incremented to 6. So this is the basic thing. Now let's try to do something like floating points. So if I try to take something like 1.2, and here I will try to take 2.4 or something like this. So floating point numbers addition will be a little bit different. So you are here, you are able to see, okay, a plus b. Let's try to do the a plus b. Now I am trying to do this addition operation. Now here if you try to see the output, the floating point 3.5999996 is there, but if you are trying to see this one, it is very simple. 4, 5, 6 and 2, 3.6 is the output which we can by using this arithmetic operation we can estimate it. But why I have mentioned this floating point is, so floating point numbers is nothing but, so generally what I can say is in every programming languages, so dealing with the floating is a little bit of debatable. So not debatable, it is somewhat critical. So why? Because the floating point, so just I will tell you briefly. So why? Because so this is the common precision errors you will be getting in the floating point. it will so normally the program in JavaScript will follow the IEEE 754 standards. So these are the standards which we need to follow for this calculation. So these are different things. So another thing what you want to do is, what I will try to do is briefly is, so these 1.2 and all those things are nothing but base 10 notation. So if you try to this one is base 10 notation. So these all numbers what we are trying to give, these all things are comes under this base 10 notation. Base 10 means nothing but we are using this decimal calculation, right? 0 to 9, which has this 0 to 9. But whereas computer has this one as something like base 2 notation, so it needs to convert it into base 2 notation. So that means nothing but binary numbers which has 0 and 1 only. So these are all things you people able to know. So these are called as base 2 notation, base 10 notation, we'll say something like this one is called as a decimal notation, and this all comes under mathematical things. I will not go deep into this one. So now if you try to give 1, so it wants to convert it into binary, means it will be very easy for this one. So for example, if I try to give it as a 0.1, so now 0.1 means nothing but in 10th part, in 10 parts it is nothing but in 10 parts. So in 10 parts it is 0.1 part we are trying to take it. Okay, for example, if it is a 1 means in 10 parts it is a 1 part. So it is very easy, we can it, but in 10 parts, so we are trying to take 0.1 part. So that is nothing but this is 0.1. Now if you want to convert it into the base 2 notation, so for computer it is very difficult for this one to convert it to 0.1 to this base 2 notation. So because of this reason, floating points you will get somewhat. So these are very much difficult for these programming languages in order to do the arithmetic calculations. So whatever they think, math calculations using this one. So because of this reason, I have to leave. So for this one, what we can do is, normally what we'll try to do is a plus b. So we will use in JavaScript to fixed of 2. Okay. And here also you'll be able to see some problem, not problem. I will try to show you. So now what is the output we are getting? 3.59996 we are getting. Now a plus b dot 2 fixed of 2 means what will happen is, so that means we are telling that in this decimal part take only the finite 2 parts only we are saying. So if I try to print this one, so what is the output we are getting? 3.59. If I try to print here, what has happened? Okay, I changed it to this one, right? So what is the one previously? It was 1.2. I don't know. Maybe this one only, I think. I don't remember. So now the output, if you try to see here, what is the output? We are able to get 3.6. Previously we used to get 3.5999, right? I don't remember. Yeah, so this is the correct only, 1.2, 2.4. So this is the problem what I want to tell you. The JavaScript, we need to be very careful. Now when you are trying to do a plus b with dot 2 fixed of 2 means, instead of getting 3.59, so now what it is trying to do, it is trying to give the 3.60. So what it is trying to do is, it is trying to do the what I can say, rounding. So it is rounding off. So 3.59. So after the 5 you have a 99999, that one. So what it will try to do is, it will take the ceiling part of the decimal. So I will try to run it again, and we'll try to run that console.log again at the top also. So now if you try to see it, so this is the 3.5999, this one, right? After the 5, what is the 9? What is the part you are having? 9. So now it will try to take the round off. Round off means if it is something like 5, 6 is there, it will take the next value. Something like 5, 6 means this one will convert it into 6. If it is a something like 5, 4 it is there means, so this it will not take it. It will take only, it will be remain only in 5 only. So rounding off. So something like not seal or floor, it is a rounding off. We will call it as a round. Let's say that I will try to tell you, so don't get confused. I don't know so whether you may be able to understand it or not. For example, I have a value something like 1.4. Okay, if I try to console.log 1.4, we are able to get this 1.4. Let's say that I am having 1.45. Let's assume. So now 1.45. So let's try to do the math.round. So I am trying to do this round. It will do something like 1. So it is okay. 1.45 dot 2 fixed of 2. Okay, let's try to do it. Now if I try to do this one, oh, this one math.round, it will try to do it with this main part only. So what I want to do is, So here if it is more than 5 means, so it will try to increment this value to the 1. If it is less than 5 means, so it will remain it as a 5 only. This is what I want to explain you. So this is 3.6 means it is rounded off. So this is the value it will become. So to fix it off to, what it will try to do is, so the after previous value, so this ninth value, it is 9 means, so it instead of showing 3.59, it will try to show you. So let's say that we are having 2.2 only, let's assume. So now we are able to get 3.40004, right? So instead of getting 3.5, here it was 3.40 only. Why? Because so after the decimal, second part of the decimal value is 0 only, so which is less than 5. So it will not increment this one, it will keep like that only. For example, if it is more than means, if it is more than 5 means, so it will increment this one. So like this it will go on. So this is the to fixed of 2 means, that is the thing. So this is all about this addition thing. So for example, let's say I don't want to go deep into this one, so if you want to practice it, you can practice it. So these are all comes under mathematical calculations and all the things, but hope you understood about this floating thing. So how it will behave differently. So we need to be very careful on the floating. So you don't expect that floating while doing this calculation with the floating, don't expect that it should be something like correct values and all those things. Why? Because it is dealing with the binary values and all those things. So every programming language has their own implementation of these calculations of this floating point. So some precision values and all the accurate values will be missing for all of this. So now this is about 1.2 and 2.2, floating with the numbers, and we will go to the strings. For example, let's say that I will take here as a hello, and I want to do it console.log a plus b. Let's try to see the output. So now when I'm trying to see this output, so first value is the as of type data type string, and second value is of type number. So now this is common thing only. Now if I try to add these two things, what is the output we may get? If we try to see the output, so both of these things are combined. Okay, in JavaScript, normally what I want to do is the plus sign. So it is used for two purposes. It has two meanings actually. What is that meaning is, it is used to concat two strings. Okay, concat the two strings, and also it is used to do the arithmetic calculations. So these are the two things which we can do it. Normally in .NET also plus is used for concatening of the two strings only. In other languages like PHP or any other languages, you will be having concatening strings dot you will be having. So now let's say that, for example, I have where a is equal to hello, okay, and where b is equal to old. Let's assume. So now I want to concat these two strings. So what I can do here, so a plus b, I can use this a plus b. Now what it will try to do is, these both things will be concatenated and you will get the output hello world. Now if I want to add in between this one, so I want to add my word means, so you can also add. So now this string will be concatenated. So this will come when we are trying to learn about the strings, you'll learn it. So a plus Leela plus b we will. So now we are trying to do, so hello plus, and this one will be concatenated, and here it will come. Now if we try to see the output, so we are able to concatenate the two strings. Now here the plus in the JavaScript is used for concatenating the strings, whereas now if a has become 1 means, now if you are having a 1 and 2 means, now if you don't have this Leela in between this one, so you will get an answer of 3. Let's say that you will get an answer of 3 now, 3. But now let's assume that you have Leela in between this one. So now string has came. Now if you try to see, the output will change. 1 Leela 2. So now it is trying to concatenate these all things. So this is about the arithmetic thing. So when you are trying to do the plus operation upon the strings means, it will be concatenated. Now let's say that another thing, we have a value without any initialization. So the value for that one is an undefined. So now I will try to do this console.log of a plus b. So what will be the value for this one? Undefined plus b. So that means a has nothing, no value is there. A for a nothing is there. That is nothing but the type of this one is undefined. So undefined, so which doesn't know with this number. So what it will try to do, let's see. So you will get an nan. So this is correct. Obviously this one. So instead of you don't think that this will concatenate undefined to, you will get, don't think that you will get an output of like this. So A doesn't have any value and B has a value of integer 2, sorry, not integer, number 2, and it is trying to concat. So if I want to concat means A is not a string, not a number. So what I can do, so it will tell that not a number. It is not a number and it is also not a string. So I don't know this data type. It is undefined. There is no value assigned to it. So I cannot determine the data type of this A value. Because of this reason, you are getting NaN. So this is nothing but one thing. Now let's say that I will give null for this one. So what will happen? So if you try to see the output, so again you are getting null is defined as something like 0. So nothing, no, so something value, nothing is there for this one. So null plus 2, it is taking it as 2. Let's say that I am taking true. Okay. So true means nothing but what is the value of this one? True means nothing but 1. So I am trying to do the arithmetic, not arithmetic calculation, plus operation. I am trying to do it between the data types. So now true plus 2. So what it will be? Something like 1 plus 2. So maybe the answer would be 3. So you need to understand. So if you are trying to do in the real time the arithmetic calculations like this, so as this JavaScript is a dynamic data type, so the variable, we cannot estimate that the variable will hold a particular value. We don't know what the variable may be holding. So in the going on code, you may change the data of this variable. So like this, that is the reason I want to explain you. So for example, let's say that I am having an array 1, 2, 3. Now I want to do the arithmetic calculation. Now what will happen? So it is trying to do 1, 2, 3. So whole array is trying to print in a serialized way, and it is concatenating with the 2. So that is nothing but it is doing the concatenation. That's it. So like this you will be having. So for example, let's say that I will try to do this one, true plus 2. So I am trying to do the arithmetic calculation for this true boolean thing. We know that true means 1. So that means 1 plus 1. So maybe the answer should be 2. So yeah, it's correct. If I try to do the false, and if I try to do it with the 3, so false, we know that it is a 0. 0 plus 3 means it should be 3 only answer. Okay. So that is the thing. So this is the see, by remaining also you'll be having so many things. You can try over with this type of data, but you need to understand these all things, underlying thing. So when you are trying to do the calculations, so that's it. So when you are trying to do these are the calculations, string and numbers we have seen, floating points we have seen. Floating points only is one of the major thing. You need to understand the concept. So next one we'll go to the subtraction. So subtraction is also same. So let's say that where a is equal to 1, take a somewhat bigger number 10, and I am having where b is equal to 2. Okay, where a is equal to 1, where b is equal to. Now I will try to do console.log a minus b. Now what could be the output? As usual. So this is the common thing which I want to explain. So now let's try to do with the strings. Let's try to see the output. So now we have told you that in JavaScript, plus is used for string concatenation and also for the arithmetic calculation. So depending on the data type of these two numbers, the calculation will be different. So now if we try to see this one, a minus b, if I try to do this one, what will happen? So we'll get an NaN. Why? Because minus doesn't resemble anything. So minus in JavaScript is only for arithmetic calculation. That is nothing but doing the subtraction. But whereas the plus has a different meaning for this plus thing in JavaScript. So depending on the situations, in .NET also plus is used for concatenation only. So like this we have, depending on the data types which is it is holding, it will do that particular action. Whereas a minus b, it completely differs. Let's try to see about both the strings. I never tried like this, but we will see. So NaN, so as we expected like this only. Let's try to do something like 1 and 1. Now what could be the output? So here the problem comes, here the thing will comes. Now if you try to see, the answer is 0. So it is doing the typecasting here. For example, let's say that I am having 4. So now 4 minus 1, the typecasting you will have. So 4 minus 1 is 3. In the similar way, the addition also will behave like that only. So now you understood this typecasting thing, 4 minus 1, this only. So other than this, everything will be undefined only. If you try to see this one, it will be a NaN, sorry. Undefined thing you will say the NaN, everything will be a NaN. But you need to understand that 4 and minus 1, you will get an answer. Let's try to see with the true. So if you try to see the true means 1 minus 1 means you will get an answer of 0. So for example, if it has something like 10 and I want to have b as a true, means 10 minus 1 it will be something like 9, you will get an answer. So you need to understand these type of things. That's it, that the most of the things, these things only. String we have seen, nan you got, boolean we have seen it, null also you understood. So you got you know that it is a 0, so you will get this 10, and remaining all what is there. So these are the only data types which we are having, so we can do it. And we have another thing is nothing but a minus is equal to b. So that means a is equal to a minus b. We can use the shorthand notation. And a minus minus. So that means it will decrement by one value. So these are common notations which we can use it. So if you want. So the another thing which I want to explain you is we'll go to the multiplication. So multiplication, let's say that where a is equal to 10 I am having, where b is equal to 2 I am having. So console.log a into b. Okay. So now if I try to see the output, so same thing, 20 we are able to see it. Now we don't have a something like a star star. So this is not existing. This will not exist. Don't think that. So but this one will exist. A star is equal to b. So this one will be there. So that means nothing but a is equal to a star b. Okay. Don't think that in JavaScript it will exist. In any programming language I think it will not exist. In JavaScript also it will not be there. Only a plus plus, a minus plus. Now here also the multiplication problem comes. So if I try to do with 1.3 or something like I don't know, so everything, if I try to do it, see the problem comes here also, the floating point thing. So what you need to do, so here 86 is there, right? So let's try to do it. What will happen? So I don't know, so we'll try to do it to fixed of 2. I will try to do this to fixed of 2. What happened to this one? Okay, try to do like this. So now we are getting 2.86. So now here it is not rounding off. So that is the only thing, right? So it is not rounding off. So whenever the precision you are getting more than that one value means, so it will try to do it. So this is the thing also you need to understand it, floating point, and that's it. So these are the only things is there. So you need to do the different types of things. I need to do it. So B2 I did never tried like these all things. So here you are getting nan. I am doing the 2 fixed, right? Because of that reason you are getting it as string. So now if you try to see, this is a nan. So these are all common. Okay. Let's try with true. I don't know what it will come. 1 only, right? 2.2 only will get. Yeah, that's correct. I will try with null. I think 0 will come. Yeah, 0. Why? Because null is a 0. 0 into 2.2, 0 will come. So like this you can try the combinations and all those things. You will understand. So if you understand the basic data types, so then you will be able to understand what. So if you are doing arithmetic calculations, what is the type of data you are trying to get it. So this is all about the multiplication, so which we can do it in JavaScript. Let's go to this division thing also. So I will try to cover that one also. Why to leave that one? So where a is equal to 10 and where b is equal to 2, I am doing console.log a by b. So this is common. So you know this one. A by b. So I will try to show you some other scenario. So 5. So fine, right? So I will try to do 10 by 0. So this is the what is the output you will try to get? 10 by 0, infinity. So anything divided by 0 is nothing but infinity only, right? So we have got a new word, something like keyword infinity. Now I will try to do infinity. So anything divided by infinity. So that means anything divided by a large number, it will be always a 0. So these things you need to understand. These are arithmetic calculations. So I don't want to explain more. So anything divided by 0 is an infinity. So that is nothing but you know about this one. This is an infinity. So this is the keyword you will be having in JavaScript. Anything divided by larger number. Sorry, not this one. So anything divided by larger number will be always near to 0 only. Nothing but 0.0000 something you will get. That is nothing but a 0. So anything divided by larger number. So these are the two things which you need to understand about the division thing. So what else can I tell you? Anything divided by infinity means nothing but it's a large number, right? So in JavaScript, infinity means it's a large number. Okay. If you want, you can also do something like a very big number. You can take it and you can do. So something like you are getting something e to the minus 13 like this you are getting. so near to 0, but I am taking in such a way that very large, infinity means take it as a large number. So you can do, if you want to assign a large number that which is very big means you can do this, you can assign this keyword infinity. Now it will be near to 0. So anything you are adding means it will be near to 0. So this is all about the division thing. So if you want to do with string means I never tried. You can try with the combination. I think it will get nan, I think. Yeah, nan. So nothing but nan. So that's it. So if I try to with the true, you understood. So I think you understood. 10 by 1, it will always be 10. So if I try to do with 10 by false means, so you know that it is a 0. So we'll get it one as, hey, where is this one? We'll get it as infinity. So this is our common thing only. So these are all about this thing. So what I, for example, let's say that I am having 10 and 3. Okay. And I'm having 10 by 3. And what I am trying to do is, so we have another one is nothing but a modulus operator. So it will give you the remainder of this JavaScript. 10 by 3 means the remainder of this 10 by 3 means the 3 will be never 10 will be never divisible by 3. So the 9 3 3 is 9 and the remainder is 1, right? So the remainder will be always 1. So here you will get a 1. So modulus is used for the to get the remainder. So division means nothing but you will get the quotient. So here 3.3 or something like this it will be. So the quotient you will get. But here modulus means you will get the remainder. Maybe the wrong I may be saying quotient or whatever you say, dividend or I don't know, quotient only I think. So that is the about these all things. These are all the things. And one thing I want to tell you before closing this session. So now I will cover this one also. To give it. So comparing operators. So you understood about these all arithmetic operators, right? These are the basic arithmetic operators. So I have discussed, we have discussed it. The combination also I have tried it. So now you will be able to understand and you can do more smartly. You can check it. These all things, division and also modulus also we have actually checked it. That is nothing but remainder thing. Now we will learn about these comparing operators. In JavaScript, what are the comparing operators? Let's say that we know that 1 is equal to 1. So it is true or false? So it is true. So we know that 1 is equal to 1. So that means what it is trying to do? So 1 is equal to 1. It is trying to do the value matching. It is trying to do it. Now I will try to do 1 is equal to 1. So it is true or false? It is true. So what it is trying to do? It is trying to match the value of this one. So both the values are matching. So the data types are not matching. Leave it apart. So but the both values are matching. Because of that reason we are getting true. Let's say that if you want to have a clear distinction between these two values, including this data type, means we have already discussed that we need to use this triple equal to. So now you will get a false. So that means 1 is equal to triple equal to 1 means it will check with the value along with its data type. So this is the thing. Now let's say that I have another one that 1 is not equal to 1. Sorry, not equal to 1. So this is the negation of this double equal to. So not equal to 1 means 1 is not equal to 1. You will get always false only. Why? Because 1 is always equal to 1. Okay. So now if I try to check here, 1 is not equal to 1. This one. Yes, it is not equal to 1. Right? So why? Because here this is a string 1 and this one is a numeric 1. So this is not, these both are never be equal. But if you will get an answer as true, it answer as false only. But you need to get true here. Why? Because these are these are not equal. In order to check those distinction also, for example, let's say that we are getting false. That it is telling that 1 is equal to 1 only. How that has given double equal to, it is telling the same thing. So if you want to match along with its both the data types means you need to use double equal to, not equal to. Now it will check with the both things. Now it will tell is true. Yes, these both are not equal. Yes, what you are saying is correct. It is telling that this is numeric 1 and this is string 1. Both are not equal. It is saying. So that is the thing it is trying to explain you. So you need to understand the difference between double equal to and triple equal to, and not equal to, and also not equal to. So you have these two things. So equal to will check only with its value. Triple equal to checks with its value and its data type. Not equal to checks only the value. Not equal to checks with the value along with its data type. So these are the four things you need to understand. Another comparing operator, for example, let's say that where x is equal to 10, where y is equal to 9. Now I am checking that if console.log x is greater than or equal to y. Okay. So now x is greater than or equal to y or not, it is trying to check. Yes, x is always greater than or equal to y. So we are getting true only. But you don't think that you will have an operator something like greater than equal to. So you don't have this type of things. So only greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So these things only we will be having. So you don't expect that in the JavaScript that you will be having greater than equal to like this. Okay. So this is about the comparing operators. I don't want to discuss more about this one, as you people already know. But these are the two things which you need to understand it about the triple equal to and also double equal to. Okay. So these are the two things which you need to remember it. And the another one what I want to tell you is, so these are the most of the things I want to so I don't want to, so these are about the comparing operators and all those things. So if I want to check, we can also check these all the things also, you can check it. So for example, let's say that so you know these all things, right? So I already told you that 0 is equal to false. So it is true or not? Yes, it is true. So 0 is always that one only, right? True. But if you try to check with the triple equal to, now the data types differs. So you know this one is false. Yeah, yes, correct. But if I try to check with 0 is equal to null. So now if I try to check here, so now you are getting it as false. Now you need to understand that all the time we are thinking that null is something like 0, right? So when doing these arithmetic calculations, so here you will not get like that. So you will get it as a false only. And also with undefined also. Okay. And also with undefined also, undefined means nothing, right? So if you try to check, I think undefined also you will get this false only. So these both are somewhat different while checking the inequality thing. But if you try to check something like null equal to undefined, so whenever we tried like this, so both you will get true only. But if you try to check with the triple equal to, then you will get it. I will show you one peculiar thing. If I try to check with the nan is equal to nan, so whether this one will be equal or not. Both are nan only, right? But it never be equal, it is false. Why? Because so here this is a number which is not a number, and here this is a number which is not a number. It can be anything. I don't know. So it is not a number. That's it. We are not giving it. We are not telling that it is a fixed thing. So that is not a number and this is not a number. Then what is that one? So that a thing is here. So that is the reason. So nan will never be equal to nan. So these are some type of crazy things. So which you are while comparing, you will try to encounter these things. So most of the things I will also get confused, but more these things you need to understand it. Anything compared with null will be always false only. So you can check that one also. So these are only about these comparing operators, triple equal to, double equal to, checking with the different data types. If you try to check it, you will understand. I don't want to check all those things. So this one will be always true or false, sorry. So this is the thing what I want to tell you. So I will start. So next topic, if I start means, so it will take so much of time. So that is nothing but about the primitive types and the reference types. So tomorrow I will discuss about this one. So by this one, so the basic things will be completed. So we'll go about these primitive types and the reference types. What are the concept of this one? Tomorrow I'll explain you briefly about this one. So if I tell you, you'll confuse. So do you have any doubts in this one? So are you able to understand these all the topics?